The other thing I want to talk to you is about abundance energy blocks. You know, being stuck is an example of a block. Being unclear is an example of a block. The great thing about abundance energy blocks is it's just a tuning. It's something that you've tuned into your consciousness, into your subconscious. And the tuning is usually some kind of a protection. So let's think about why you would have an abundance energy block. When we get our hopes up, when we get excited, and then we have a disappointment or a failure or trauma or something goes wrong, really that's not good. We don't like it. It harms us. You know, it's not good. We get disappointed, we get upset. So what often happens is we put a tuning in there to say, well, I don't want that to happen again, so I'm not going to put myself in that situation again. An example from my life, I'll just give you one random example. When I was 10 or 11 years old, I'm very ADD, very attention deficit. I always have been. A lot of noise in my head. You know, I have a lot of different thoughts going on at any one time. Now, when I was 10 or 11 years old, obviously there was no such thing as ADHD. Nobody had ever talked about it, and they didn't for many years to come. But that was what was going on. This one day I finished school, I was on the school bus, and I just wandered out into the road in front of the bus because I was busy thinking about a million different things, as we do. Next thing, I got hit by a car. I was really, really lucky. You know, I came away with lots of bruising and a concussion, and my mum will tell you that I've never been the same since, but in an affectionate way. But the point is, I was very, very lucky. It was one of those life lessons. Now, that meant that I had an abundance block. I had a block from that moment onwards, which is whenever I cross the road, my subconscious has to remind me to be really careful and look left and right and to not walk in front of buses. Okay, so I've got that protection tuning, and that's really good. There's nothing wrong with that kind of protection. Where it's not good is when it becomes too traumatic or too big a tuning that it stops you doing the things that you want to do in life, and it makes you really stuck, stops you speaking your truth, stops you shining your true light, just puts you in that place of stuckness. That's not good. So, for instance, the extreme example of an energy block like that is when someone has agoraphobia or agoraphobia and they won't even leave the house, you know, because something bad could happen out there in the world, so they stay in their space of safety. Now, the safety, the protection, that's a really good tuning. It's when it's too much. Okay, it's when it's an extreme example. So you're going to be learning over the next few days that anything that blocks you from getting what you want, anything that stops you from doing what you want, is simply an energy block, and we just need to retune it. And it's not difficult. It's not difficult in the way people make out. You know, if you feel you are being held back in some way from doing what you want to do and being who you want to be, this is going to be enlightening. It's going to be one of the most powerful things you ever learn. So be excited.